Okay, good morning. I'm just having fun with the camera. I need music, but that's okay. I'm just gonna pretend this guy's singing. All right, I will get a nice view. And good morning. We'll get started in a little bit, few minutes. I'm going to double check that we've got a stream, and I love that I made this little bouncy thing here. So don't forget to grab your OP badge for today, and then definitely don't go here. And if you do, oh, look it, somebody won this parcel. I am so excited because it's actually Rishi who got to turn her land from an estate to a estate. Does that work? Like an estate to an estate. I don't know. It's just bigger. But probably it's not funny at all. And then JK got this right here, which is awesome. And I have my little test screen that I did not do on purpose, but it lets me know this is working. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm a genius and that I did that on purpose, but actually I just didn't want to delete it. Um, but it tells me it works. Okay, this is the point where I realize my volume. Nope, my volume's down. Okay. So I'm not on YouTube, I'm afraid, because um yeah, because YouTube there's just something wrong with the audio. I don't know what it is, but the audio it's like double. So until then, I'm just gonna like do it this way. Sinful sends me the recording and then I'm able to put it on. Um, so I have like 2 weeks worth that I need to put on. So sorry about that. Oh, let's see. Okay, so Sin says maybe it's working. I hope it's working. Um, all right. So let me know if you guys can't hear it. Type that here. Yeah, Peter, congratulations. I am so excited for you to get your own land. Like that is such a big accomplishment. I mean, that's huge. That's cool. Ristan, welcome, welcome. Today we're gonna go back to the Creator Hub. I think we've been doing a lot in Blender, and I kind of want to move like forward, back. But actually, what we're gonna do in the Creator Hub is pretty cool. So it's not like you're not going all the way back to the beginning. The Creator Hub, you guys, it's in my opinion, it's getting kind of OP. It's getting like better and better tools. So you can do way more even than you could a few months ago. So I want to look at a few of those exciting tools and then maybe like put them in a build. Um, Hello, Fred. Who is that? Oh, Noob. Hi, Noob. Noob is streaming on Wednesdays, you guys. That is awesome. And look at all those surfers. It's so cool. All right, let's get right in it. I'm gonna get my page open for 1 second. And oh gosh, I might have to close. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if the things I close are gonna affect this. I think that just made it smaller, but it's okay. Um, I'm gonna get in there first. I have so much stuff in the Creator Hub, you guys. I think one time Ruston saw how many scenes I had, and he was like, kind of laughed at me. Because sometimes I start scenes and I don't do much with them, and then I just go and start a new one. So I want to go to some that I did a long time ago. Oh my gosh, they are way down here. Plus, I can't show you all my secret stuff, right? I gotta, I gotta keep my secret stuff secret. I'm just kidding. Um, yeah. So like Peter, you're just starting out. You got a two-piece parcel. That's outstanding. I think Um, that's such a good size to start with. Like there is such thing as starting too big, and so I think 2 pieces is great. All right, I'm gonna do display capture. Here we go. And guys, I'm just gonna wait for a second for it to catch up. But please let me know if you have questions, comments, anything like that. I will go back and forth and try to see those as I go. I'm just gonna wait for the stream to catch up, make sure this works. If there's something specific that you want to build, like, hey, I want to build a club. I want to build a club on 2 parcels of land, or I want to make a gaming pad so that I can completely, um, share my adventures in Fortnite or something like that, or I want to make a club for my DJ set. Like, I try to build stuff that we all can use, but sometimes, yeah, sometimes there's something very specific. Okay, so this is on 1 parcel of land. I like doing 1 parcel of land because generally that's like the lowest hanging fruit. That's where we start. That's a great place to start. And there's nothing wrong with having a parcel of land to build on. It's actually a really cool challenge to try to like make cool stuff on 1 parcel of land. Um, that stream, that's backwards. I don't know why I did it there. So this is something I built in one of the I think it was the first class that we did in Decentraland. And there is a really cool picture of Rustan and me and somebody else from the aquarium way back in the day. But this just kind of shows you like a little bit of what you could do. We did this in an hour, just using assets from the Creator Hub. It is deployed in world. I'll jump down there later. I should probably just put some stuff, in it first. Um, so today I want to talk a little bit about like the other options that you can use in the Creator Hub. I know I did like the maze a few weeks ago, and in that I started adding some of I call them special effects. I don't know what other people call them, but they're in this, I mean, smart items. They're labeled smart items, but I like special effects way better. And this is where, like, basically, if you're a builder and well, we're all builders. Okay, we're all builders. First, we have to commit to that. But if you're like, hey, I was a special ed teacher. Other people might be body painters. Other people might be, I don't know, like sous chefs at a restaurant. You're not 3D modelers by trade, and you're not developers. You don't work with code. This is the kind of people I'm talking about. This is us. So for us in this world, vibe coding is, I mean, it's going to get us there so fast. But until that, we have these assets. And these, I think, actually are such a good way to enter building. Before you go to vibe coding, I think you should go to the Creator Hub and start playing with these. Because coding is all about giving directions, and these are like a visual way of giving directions. And I say that because, I've heard more and more analogies talking about the sandwich, the sandwich like analogy of like, hey, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You tell that to AI, you feed it into your prompt, and it makes you one, sideways or upside down or something like that. That analogy, we use that as a testing protocol for my students when we were testing, whether they met the requirements criteria for many different disabilities, including a learning disability. And it was make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I literally can remember the script. Give me all the instructions. If you leave anything out, I might not be able to make the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Same thing with coding here. You have to tell it exactly what you want. When you're vibe coding, you're going to be, putting that into a script. But before that, right here, you have these visual pieces. And so for humans, when we learn, this is such a good way to scaffold that information. For instance, and I'm just going to get started. So click area. I'm going to drag that into my scene. And then I'm going to go down to one of my favorite new things in the world, and it's a light. And I'm probably going to do spotlight because it shows up really well. Okay, so like in your prompt, in your AI prompting, you just basically have 2 prompts. I'm going to get these looking better, move this over. Go that. Okay. This little doodad, I don't care where it goes. It really doesn't matter. You won't see it on the scene. Um, I wonder about organizing them. Like maybe I could just pile them up here and I would have like one, two, three, four. Because in my scenes I have like 40 of these lights. And so I do not want to lose them or because this box right here controls this light. What I have been doing, which I think works pretty good, is like I just put them next to each other as close as I can because now these two, I'm assuming they're connected because they're right here. But the way that the Creator Hub sequences this, it can get kind of confusing. Like if I shift click on both of these, hit duplicate, and now I have number two. And if I hit that again, duplicate number two or number three. So it's going to go sequentially. So it's one thing I noticed if you're going to do a bunch of these, do them in order because otherwise you're going to have, well, I guess I could move it around, right? Oh, I could screw myself up. Or like if I could get into Rustan's build, I'd put these all over the place. I'd mess them up. Okay, well there, I just learned something. That is awesome. Because I want, it's easier when they're numbered. I want click area 2 to change spotlight 2. I could have it like click area 2 controls spotlight 2, spotlight 3, spotlight 4, spotlight 5. I can control all of them through that. Wait, I think, no. I can control all the light, I'll have to come back to that because you can control which light does what. Just because of the numbering, I'm going to call this, oh gosh, they're all, I'm going to get rid of these. They're going to get me confused. All right. Delete. We'll deal with those later. Okay, so in your coding, when you're imagining vibe, and kind of like trying to tie this in a little bit to vibe coding so that you can kind of see it here, but then imagine it somewhere else. Because if you're going to jump into Cursor or Claude or any of those things that they're, everybody's talking about, they're great to use. I don't know, this, for us visual learners, this helps me have a way to explain it to the AI. So I want this light to work. So I'm going to click on the spotlight. If I go into this world right now, there's not going to be anything happening because it's basically like if you have a light in your house and you walk in the door and nobody turns the light on, you're like, hey, where's my light? Unless you have motion activated. And so that's what we need to tell this. Even if you have motion activated lights, at the beginning, when they were installed, you needed an electrician to install the switch or somehow program it that it was going to be motion activated. Same thing here. So I guess in that regard, think about it like building your house. Okay, so I'm going to click on the light. Oh, look at this. This is fun. You get to do different light colors. Blue, red. Okay. I don't know. Let's do yellow. And intensity, you can mess with this later, but I like make it really bright. This is the fun stuff. Let's get out of the fun stuff. Okay, we have a light, but we need to turn it on. So actually, I'm going to move this because it helps us to understand. This is your house. This is your light. This is your light switch. So when you click on this, now you're going to go over and you get to choose basically in your house. Do I want to have to flip my switch? Or do I want motion activated, basically on spawn, this light turns on. If you want lights to just be on in your scene and your users are walking through it and they get these freaking crazy lights, like this is like a really cool feature, you guys. I don't know if you can tell how stoked I am, but I've been playing so much with these. They're nice. They will change your scene. I swear to you. They're nice. But if you want it just to be on, I would leave it on spawn. Almost everything I have is on spawn. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, so when somebody comes in on spawn, what do I want it to do? I want the spotlight to turn on. And in my head, like literally, this is how I'm stupidly saying on spawn, spotlight, turn on, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just the way my brain works. So now when I come into this scene, this is just going to be on when I get there. However, I might not see it on until I get closer. So I had to bug them in help desk channel last night. I was like, why can't I see it until I walk up to it? So if you, let's say you're over here and you have really gorgeous lighting over there, you won't see it. Womp womp. As my kids would say, womp womp, mom. You don't see it until you get closer to it. There are options like in here. When I asked about this, okay, so I went into light source. When I asked about it, they said you can change the range, so like you can see it from further away. And it's good. That changes it. That helps. But it's not like I want to be this far away and see my club illuminated. And to my experience, I haven't been able to do that yet. Maybe it's just the way I'm testing it. But yeah, like this is gonna be so cool when you get it turned on. And that's it. That's it. It's really not that hard to do. Um, to get like get a light in there, get it really cool. You can do all sorts of other stuff, but if you just want lights in your scene, that's what you do. Okay, now that I'm gonna do that, I'm just gonna put these guys together, and maybe I want them bigger, so I'm gonna like resize them. That box, that like click box is way big. I don't need it that big, but I don't need to sit there and like mess with it either. I can just leave it. All right. So I'm gonna put it up here. I might need to make that box smaller just because it might get too far out of the scene. So there we go. All right. Okay, so now I want, like, that guy's good there. I want another light. Maybe, ooh, is he sticking out? Yeah, I'll leave that. I'll see what it looks like. It's sticking out over the edge, but I'm not worried about that. If I'm going to add more lights, I want to do the copy pasta. I want to click both of these guys and just right click, duplicate. And now maybe I want this over here, but instead of this color, let's do, I mean, blue is really cool. I wish they had purple. They don't have purple. Yellow. Let's do red. And I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna like, you can get it super bright. It doesn't need to be super bright, but just like this. Now, this click area, when you duplicate it, it doesn't duplicate that now it's this light's daddy. It still looks like, I mean, you told it what to do. Spotlight, it's still going to turn on Spotlight 1. So this is what I was saying at the beginning. If you have a bunch of these, they're all going to be, you know, if you duplicate them, they're all going to be parented or they're still going to be thinking about Spotlight 1. So I have to tell it Spotlight 2. So now this box, um, you get the point. This box is this light's parent, daddy. I don't know why, but daddy just seems like way more fun than like parenting. All right, let's do that again. I hit that, hold down shift, click this one. So I have both of them highlighted. Right click, duplicate, pull it over this way. I'm going to go into click area. Who's your new mama? Spotlight 3. Okay. And just on spawn, it's going to turn on. Here's the funny thing. Since it doesn't show up until you're close, it kind of acts like there's a proximity sensor to it, which is kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I was like annoyed, but then I'm like, yeah, this is a cool effect. So I'm going to duplicate these again, put one out here, and then we'll walk through the scene in a second to see what it looks like. But I want to show you another way to do this. like, let's see, let's say it's here. Okay. All right. And this spotlight 4. Okay. But now I want to, instead of on spawn, like right when I come in, I want to do player enters area. So I don't want this to turn on until I have somebody there. I am worried about power and electricity, guys, because all of my electricity is going to feed the AI data centers. Just kidding. There's really no reason you do this because it's the same effect as if it doesn't illuminate until you're on spawn. But I just want to see what happens because I don't know, it might have like slightly different effect. And maybe because so like if this box, okay, so let me explain what this box does. Player enters area. When a player touches this box, it's going to prompt the light to turn on. So if I have the box over here and player is, I'm like showing you with my finger, but you can't see my finger. If the player is walking along and then they hit the box right here, it's going to turn the light on. Actually, that'd be kind of a cool jump scare effect. That'd be cool. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use it sometime. I'm going to do it super bright. I'm going to actually, let's do it right now. How bright can we get this guy? Boom. Oh, okay. Um, we should put some alarms in there too. But anyway, you get the point. Like you're gonna get jump scared. But maybe I'll move it a little bit back further over here. Because typically if you wanted the light to show up in front of the avatar and the avatar spawns in here, you probably have to make it like they're gonna hit the box before they hit the light. So player enter area, you could just control it a little bit more. So how about there? Okay, I am going to have to leave Decentraland in order to see this. So it'll take just a second. I've not been able to see like both. You've gotta either do one or the other. So if anybody, I don't think there's a go around. So I will look this up in preview. This is always the moment when I'm like, oh, did I click all the boxes for animations and stuff like that? Because usually, well, actually, I'm traumatized. That's how it used to be. Now it makes live changes. So maybe I'm also like, I am having to evolve just as quickly as as a creator hub does. And it's really come a long way because like you used to have to push a preview and then wait to see the change. And then if you like, for me, I would forget to click the animation button if you're importing a file from Blender. So then I'd have to click that, close down the preview, open up a new version. Now everything is live, so I can edit this in the preview version. I just can't have an instance in Decentraland open at the same time as I'm in preview. That it doesn't let me do. Okay, here we go. See what it looks like. I know I talked last week about like I'm defaulting in on the lowest settings. So I don't know if anybody else has that too, where you come in and you're automatically on the lowest setting. Oh, it didn't do that today. Okay. Ooh, I have not been in this build, guys, since we built it. And look, it's see-through, which means I bet that asset that we used, the wall, had some back face culling on it. So if you get to your builds and they look different, I believe that's what it is. All right, so I don't see my spotlight is there, but I don't see it. So let's see. Should I walk? Oh my gosh. Did it work? Why didn't it work? Where are they? What did I forget, you guys? Oh my gosh. No. What did I forget? Did I forget something? Why aren't they working? They should be working. All right. Let's take a look here. What on earth did I forget? I've got my click area, right? I got my spotlight. Yes, it's triggered. It's not the only thing triggered. Player enter areas. Spotlight 4 turned on. Okay. Let's look up here. Click on that guy. On spawn. So these should turn on when I get there. Spotlight 2, turn on. What is happening? I guess I get another wump lump. My first thought would be to go just do it again. Like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it just needs a second. Usually a restart will fix everything, but I don't see them. No. All right. Let me do something. Hmm, that's funny. Let me do something different real quick. I am going to add this light. Maybe there's just something wrong with that light asset. This one I actually sometimes love even better. It's it's like a lemon, but it is not sour like a lemon. It's sweet. Like lemonade. I don't know. All right, click area. Now I'm like, gosh, what did I do wrong? And of course, I only do it wrong when I'm like live in front of people. But after teaching high schoolers for 10 years, you're like, yeah, that's just the way it goes. All right, point light, turn on. Now, this is the cool thing. If it works, hopefully it does, I come back and the whole thing, like, in theory, it should be there. All right, let me run off. Let me run off of the parcel again. Let me run back. Sadness. Why aren't they working? I I don't think it's because this is an old scene. However, dependencies. I bet there's something with dependencies on this scene. I'm not seeing any alerts for dependencies. So I don't know. But like one thing that's good to know is like older scenes do need to be updated. See this right here, installing dependencies. I'm just gonna start a new scene. I bet this was it. Oh, and this takes a second. Okay. So like these dependencies, you have to let them update. And this is like automatic, which makes me think that old scene, it should have been automatic on it. I don't know if this is it or not. One thing that I think, if you're not able to troubleshoot, this is a frustrating, time consuming process. If you are able to troubleshoot, it is still frustrating and time consuming. But I think that you have a little bit more like use a trigger area, not a click area. Oh, Rustan's giving me messages. Use a trigger area, not a click area. Ah, okay. Let's see. Anyway, it's frustrating. There's no doubt about it. And maybe today I'm just like failing horribly, but it's week 27. I'm here. Yeah, maybe. All right, let's see. Click area, trigger area. No, trigger area. But Rustan, that's not what I've been doing. All right, let's trigger area. But I've been doing click area. So let's try both of them. Oh, this could take a second to go in. Oh, that's nah, because I've been doing this and it's been working good. So let's test it out, you guys. Like, this is where so much cool stuff is learned. It's so frustrating until you get there, though. So bear with me for a moment. All right. And then duplicate. All right. So Rustan said trigger area. It's interesting. Okay. So when a player enters an area, nope, I want on spawn and I want spotlight 1. Which one is that? Spotlight 1. Yep, spotlight 1. Oops, spotlight 1 to turn on. Okay. Now on this guy, on spawn, spotlight 2, turn on. Okay, let's amp these guys up, you guys. The intensity it's set with, it is not enough lumens, and we're not burning like energy. So I think go for the intensity. It's pretty pretty. to see. All right, so I'm going to close out of that preview and get into this preview. And let's see what it says because I've only been using this guy. And a lot of times, like, not to say math problems, but it's kind of like a math problem where there's different ways to get to the same equation, the same endpoint. It just, one might be like a little bit different than the other. All right, this is going to take a moment to come in. The difference between, so I had two lights. I'm just going to throw that in. The lemon, as I'm calling it, because it looks like a lemon. Obviously. You guys know what a lemon looks like. All right, there's the lemon and then the spotlight. We'll look at the difference in a second. It's going to go right past that. They're both cool in really different ways. Because at first I was just like, oh, spotlight all the way. But then I was like, no, lemon. Okay, so one worked and one didn't. Eek. This is the red one. Oh, no, look at. So this is interesting because my prompt, if you can say prompt, I think you can say prompt. I'm gonna use the same terminology, is on spawn. So both of these are on, right, when I spawn in. But isn't that weird that you're not seeing both of them? So in my mind, these suckers need to be on. If I'm over here, if I'm over there, they're not set to proximity, but I'm sure just as a way, I mean, if Decentraland had that and had to render all of these lights on at the same time, that would probably be a huge use of power. So let's see if we can change the range and make it like stay on, I guess, make it so that we can see it way sooner. Okay. Because this is what Help Desk said would help. No, I'm not really seeing it. And like, can I get both of them to turn on at the same time? Red light, green light. Okay, so who wants to make a game where you have like Twister and then you have to be like, all right, where do I go next? Okay, right there. And then you're like, where do I go next? I don't know. Right there. Okay. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with this simple mechanic to show people or just like to make cool stuff in your scene. Okay, so that shows that my old scene probably just did not have the right dependencies in. So I apologize for leading us astray. I want to show you now the difference between this red light. And I'm just gonna use this guy just to make sure that it's working. Okay, so same thing over here. This on spawn, I want point light to turn on. And I'm gonna light this sucker up because this is like the coolest thing. Let's do green. What was this color? Was that blue? Okay. Here you go. I don't need to go too crazy and it should. Oh, look at that. Okay, hold on. Gotta make that go up a little bit. Because it kind of can't see it, but like in the inside of it, this is kind of important. That is where the light this irritates me. Okay, hold on. It's kind of weird. I don't like how you control the sizing. Okay, so this, sorry. Okay. Anyway, this is where the light comes from, like emanates from. And so sometimes it can be hard when your lemon is giant to know exactly where the light is going to come from. And if I want to make this come from, let's say I actually want it to make, like, I want it to look like this is lit up like a street light. What? Oh no, actually a magic gemstone. That's so much better. I'm advocating for all streetlights to be converted into giant gemstones. Still working on it. Not sure how that's going to go over. All right, there we go. My gemstone. That's gonna look so cool. Okay, but I want my light to really be coming from where the gemstone is. And that gemstone is bluish. Um, let's do blue. Green is actually brighter, right? Like if you compare them side to side. So make it tiny, put it where you want it, and now make it big lemon, okay? Because that's going to help you know exactly, if you can, exactly where it's coming from. Now jump into your little world. Whoop-oo. Takes a second, you'll disappear. And then there. Oh, look at that. Actually, it looks like the green would have looked better. Let me do the green. And look at how easy it is, guys. It's just like one step. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at how it illuminates. I really gotta get close. Look at how it illuminates those rocks. Actually, let's put some more stuff. I was gonna say something else, but more stuff in our scene because it makes it look cool. Um, let's put some cool trees. Oh, I gotta keep it in the boundaries. All right. One thing about these lights, if you're gonna start doing cool lights, they mean nothing if you have nothing to light up. They're cool, but not nearly as cool as like if they're shining on something or they have, ooh, that's too big. That's kind of let's get rid of that. Give them something to shine on. Like you'll see what I mean. Like shadows make it cool, all sorts of stuff. Ooh, a creepy haunted tree. All right. That should be enough. And notice like it's real time. It's so cool. Ooh, okay, that's the spotlight. So like a real harsh light. This is the spotlight, and then this is the other light. And look at how that just lights up the entire area. Like you can see it over on that tree. You can see it on the rocks. I'm gonna mess with the range of this one really quick. Light source range. Okay, let's see if we can tell a difference. Now this is. Oh yeah, look at like. Okay, did that brighten it? I don't know. Did it brighten the tree? Like over there, I can't tell. Um, I really wish this stayed lit though. Like, and I tried telling Help Desk. I'm not good at distances. But if I was pacing this out, oh, look at it, it's staying on now. He knows I'm talking about him. Oh, okay. I don't know, guys. Is that like 10 feet? If I'm a 6 foot tall avatar, I think that's like 10 feet. So, let's see. Range? I don't know what the range. I don't know that it does what I want it to do. Well, it actually, yeah, it does. Whoa, that's a big difference. So, like, if I put the range to max, I can get like 10 feet away. No, wait. Uh, okay. So, you get the idea. You can play around with this quite a bit. That point light, I think, is my favorite. Let's see what we can do actually with these guys because they're pretty cool. For like a city street, if you were walking down a like a if you're making a game in Decentraland and you want it to be like you're walking down a city street and you've got where am I? Okay, right here. A spotlight. Okay, so that's now it's way bigger. Um, and you can see it's coming from up above. So this looks kind of funky a little bit to me, to that in that tree. And now where did our blue one go? Oh, our blue one's right there. You can kind of see it. Now this poor thing is like getting overloaded. So the blue is there. I might move it to the tree. And then I think I need to turn up the intensity. So like I said before, um, blue is just I would say a quieter color. If color can be quiet, like yellow, white, green, they're real bright. But if you use the blue in game, it's like I have to turn it. This is way brighter and it barely shows up down here. So just play with those different like colors. There we go. But I could see this like if you're making an experience and somebody is running along a path, it's kind of neat that like it would tell you if you're on the right path. I'm sorry, I cracked myself up. This is the point when I laugh at my own jokes. And then later I realize there's a bunch of people listening. Yes. So to know if you're on the right path, um, put in some lights on your path. Look at that one. That one looks so cool. Doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, let's see. Let's go back to smart items. Um, okay, if you just want, like, I'm just going for low-hanging fruit today, guys. Like, make a cool game, quick, easy, and not even a game, just an experience. Put this on your land. There's just very little coding on it. I'm going to hit debug so we can see it. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to do that. Actually, and then I'm going to do it one more time. Duplicate it. I know I talked a little bit about this in the maze class that I did, like, I think we spent 2 weeks on it, but I want to give this a little bit of time. Okay. Ah! All right. So, okay, hold on. I'm going to give this ground because right now these are red and they blend into the background. So I'm going to make a different floor so we can see them better. And then I'm going to make it daytime because stuff is going to look different times a day. Okay, so these boxes, you can see they're here. And I was like, who decided that it was a good idea to make these visible? Well, if you want them invisible, just hit debug, okay? And then when you're here, they go away. Takes a second. Okay, so they're there, but they're invisible. I'm gonna make them visible again. This is just sort of like you can go test your scene because if they're invisible and you go try to test your scene, then you're like, dang nabbit, where did I put that box? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, there it is. I found it. So here we go, guys. This is another amazing feature that they added. Amazing. I'm so stoked. I didn't even have to like give this a prompt. It's a bouncing box. And then depending on your intensity, this one is a level 10 jump. And then this one is 40. So that gets me all the way up here. So it's given me like a good level of bounce. This is also a great way if you're like, hey, I want to get good glider footage, but I can never get a good shot. Just put one of these guys and then look at the camera and get your glider. Life hack. Okay, so we're going up that far, and then this one is a level 80. So pretty cool. If anybody's been, Genesis Plaza, the umbrellas, this is the mechanic for the umbrellas. So we should have these, everywhere. They're pretty fun. And zero skills. Like you just literally throw them on your land. I feel like I'm gonna break my leg coming off of a trampoline with those when I land. Also, I turned this to daylight and make sure you test your lighting in dark and in daylight because it's going to look totally different in the daytime. And so if you have this really cool scene and you're like, yeah, it's spooky, it's nighttime, and then somebody comes and it's like um, noon o'clock and it's bright, you're going to lose that effect. And so in the Creator Hub, you should, I didn't do this ahead of time, but you should be able to find it right here. Auto, be like, nope, you guys are always going to be at the time of day that I say you can be at, because I am the Baron of this land. So then if I come on your scene and I'm like, yeah, but I want to see what it looks like at noon. Oh, okay, I can't. I'm forced to see the experience that you want me to see. And this is like super important because I, I don't know, in some ways being like a scene creator, you kind of have to be like a megalomaniac and like you have to control what they see, what they're going to hear, how they're going to see it. Because if you don't, somebody is going to come in at full noon and they're going to be like, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that cool. And so these are just like super simple ways of getting cool effects. Let's see Asune. Woo! That's so cool. All right. So we got daytime, we got nighttime, we got some cool effects. This tree, you know what? This would be such a cooler effect if it was the point light. They need to change that to lemon light just just to make it easier. Let's see what a giant red lemon light looks like instead. That guy up there, spotlight. Let's just delete him. And then this guy, red. It's trigger area right there. Trigger area on spawn. It's going to do point light 2, turn on. Yeah, okay, so different. You don't get that like sharp look at me focus of the tree. But if you were going to make a cool forest experience, okay. I was like, why did it turn to daytime? It did that because I stepped off of the parcel. Because I have my presets on the parcel, but as soon as you step off, you're in Decentraland time. Okay, so I was like, wait, why did it do that? So this is cool. Like Halloween with this kind of spotlight light would be really, really cool. I could see this like you're running down a forest. Maybe, oh my gosh, you could have a forest where you have to follow a path and you don't know what it is, but you have to follow the green glow. As long as you're glowing green, you're fine. But if you're like glowing red, oh, I'm off the path. I gotta come back here. So for those of us that are trying to break into a different part of life, like with games and experiences, you either have to learn how to vibe code and like do really well and like figure this stuff out. This is a low tech way of doing the same thing. So to me, that's really important because like this is such a subtle and easy entry. Like you could have an experience in an hour with this skill. That would be fun and like really gorgeous, like meaningful. And then boom, this kind of stuff. So these tools in here I think are like super important. Um, let's make this bigger. Super important for just like getting your first build created. I know there's like new landowners. Um, so this is the kind of stuff that's gonna be really important, I think. Uh, duplicate. No. Is that right? Point light 2. Yes, duplicate. And then I'm gonna do, oh gosh, point light. Oh, I duplicated both of them. Ooh. Click area. Duplicate that. Click area 3, click area 2. Here we go. This is why I like to keep them kind of close by at least. Oh gosh, that looks close and it's not. Because otherwise I'm gonna get confused. If this, like, I would go clean this up over here at the end, but for today, I'm just gonna, I don't know, for me visually, especially when you're moving stuff around and it's not locked into its final location, it's kind of nice to have it nearby. This morning I was doing a scene and I had to move like 100 assets to the right, like 50 feet. And so it was nice to have these like next to each other. All right, so this guy is point light 4. So I want this to say on spawn, point light 4, turn on. Perfect. This guy is point light 3, so this on spawn, point light 3, turn on. So let's see. Oh, reload scene. That one might be that might have been a bigger change because I changed the layout, so I might no, it's coming. Okay, if you ever get stuck like this, it means your changes are on the way. I've been getting stuck under a dock a lot lately. And then it like I will jump a bunch because if there's like an asset above me, like if I have a hill and I'm doing this and I'm waiting for my scene to load, I'll get stuck in the hill if it loads on top of me. So a lot of times I'll be here like loading. And to be honest, it looks like it's not going to load me in. There's really weird ways that when you're in the preview, the way that the scenes load are real funky. For one thing, don't ever wear smart shoes. I have shoes I cannot wear in here. The Guyan smart shoes. I'm going to show you. Don't ever wear these when you're testing your scene. This right here. Do not wear those. For some weird reason, it creates a invisible collider. So if you ever see me come into like if you're at Genesis Plaza and you see me come in for a moment and then I change shoes and leave, it's because I forgot to wear the right footwear for previewing. So that's a good one. And then sometimes I just, I can't get it to reload, so I'm gonna go and just like reload a new preview. I think when you change, because I changed the size of the parcel. Gosh, also don't change. Yesterday I was trying to add more land because I was on a big scene. It was like 15 by 15 and I wanted it 17 by 17 and I hit 1 and then I didn't hit the 7 and so I made it one parcel big and then I was like that's okay, I'll just redo it. Well, it centered my entire scene. So that's why there were like 20 assets out of bounds and I had to move the entire scene. So anyway, things like that are fun. Okay, so you can kind of see like I didn't add the tree with them, but if you were like follow the green path and your players are like, "Ooh, where? Oh, not that way. I better go this way." Oh, there I go. Oh no, red path. I'm off the path. Go this way. That'd be such a cool way to have a game. It would also be completely nonverbal. If somebody is coming from a different country and English is not their first language, this is a nonverbal way to communicate where you gotta go. So really, like, I think we actually have to develop more of our scenes with no words. Don't rely on UI, like overlays, which is nice because, like, for me, I don't know how to make UI overlays. Just if you use ChatGPT to help you make a graphic, like, hey, make me a graphic that shows a happy face by green and a sad face by red, like, you could make instructions also that bypass language because everybody understands happy, sad. And then, well, I guess not everybody sees the same color. So if you have somebody that's colorblind, never mind. Such a bad idea. But I do think that it helps to think about that in our builds. How are we going to accommodate users from different languages or different parts of the world that don't have same language acquisition? Look at that. Oh my gosh, you could even have it an aerial experience. An aerial parkour. Well, okay, that lights up in the air. But here's the problem with that. As I said, you have to have something to light it up. Let's see if that works in the air. Um, all right, where are my where are my launch pads? So the lights are now up there. I don't think they're going to work at all because they have nothing to light up. You can kind of see. I could kind of see a little bit of something in the air, but without something to light up. Yeah, see, look, I like it's kind of changing color. But let's put something, I don't know, what would be in the air? What would be good? I'm asking, I don't know. Gosh, do we have clouds? Clouds would be cool. I, okay, let's see. What could be like a cool thing in the air? A void tulip? I don't know. A void tulip. Let's do that. Because I don't know. Let's make it really big. And instead of a void tulip that suspiciously looks like it came from the nether, and it's called the void, but we won't say anything about copyrights. We love all places. Minecraft reference if anybody doesn't know. All right, so now we have some things to compare this to. And I bet we're going to get stuck up here in the colliders. So let's see how this works. Like, so I don't know. Hopefully this is all helpful. Like, this is just literally my thought process. When I'm building something, I'm like, how can I use this? And so it's pretty dark. I don't see, there, I can see some green. I got to go back over here and get more air. Okay, there's red. There's definitely red. So like if you wanted to make a parkour, okay, no colliders, guys. No colliders on this. Now we know. If you wanted to make a parkour that you have to go through the air and like follow, oh, this would be so gorgeous actually. But no colliders. So you're just gonna bounce off the side. I think I could just, let's do this. So no colliders, no problem. Like on Back to the Future, we don't need colliders where we're going. So little things like this, they were a flower. They don't have colliders included because it makes sense that a little flower, if you hit a flower, it's not going to stop you. You're going to trample it. But if I just click here, physics and pointer, none. Thank you, Ruston, for this tip. I use this so much. Physics and pointer, none. You're literally just switching them. You're going from none, physics and pointer to physics and pointer and none. All right, let's try this now. I should get like, oh, out a concussion when I hit them. Okay, let me try that again because I did. Okay, so that's way harder, but look at, oh my gosh, you have like a cool aerial parkour. That easy. I should put this really strong one over there. See if I can land right here. Yeah, so look at the assets in the builder as if like just they're not what you think they are. These are not flowers. These are gigantic air trees. I would say go through everything in the creator hub with like a fresh pair of eyes. Because who would have thought that this could be kind of fun to go through? If I land here, maybe oh no, I missed it. Didn't stick the landing. But like you could, if I don't hit my head, you could like use these to jump off of. Look at how fun that is. Seriously, we got some cool stuff right here. And then you get to the next one. I think it's time to rewatch the Avatar movies, you guys, because like also putting, well, let's see. Okay, like my brain's like, how do I fit it all in? Minimize that. Okay. Put in the Rhinohorn stalactite. I know it's way out of bounds because I can't get it to fit the right way. You know, in Avatar, when they have like, and How to Save Your Dragon, they have those giant, like, cool things in the air. Well, I built one of those a long time ago. I had a really cool build. We should bring that back. But there, like a sky platform, and then there's this. This is what I did last time, like years ago. This little guy, bring it up here, looks like a cool root. Shout out Roots Chocolate, Garden Gully. Go get your chocolate. Roots probably has roots like this growing from his chocolate plants. But look at how cool that looks. It looks like there's some gnarly tree that's going to eat me. This is the root that's growing from it. And you just take these bad boys, duplicate them, put them all over this, and it's going to look like you just have some crazy thing growing up there. In like minutes, you got coolness. And then we need a tree to grow. What is the tree that is growing all of that madness? I kind of need like a scary tree to match the vines, but I don't know that we have a scary tree right here. So I'll put that one just because it matches. Put it up at the top. And if you have a Decentraland name, you can just put this, in your world. You can just now copy, like grab, hold down the shift key, grab that, the roots, this, the bottom, right key, duplicate. This scene is getting busy now. I'm like, okay, I need more land. Right click, duplicate. And I would like probably rotate it. Otherwise, they're all going to look the same, except then it's going to be out of bounds. All right, so now in very short amount of time, oops, that guy's taking root. I wish my real plants would do that. Okay, so can I make it? So like in just a few motions, oops, I did not clear it. In just a few motions, you've got like a fully navigatable scene that would let you like completely do an aerial parkour, which I know there's a call, like an open call for aerial parkour. So all of these assets came from the builder. Bring your cool lighting up here. Let's grab these. Grab my, so now they're just like lemons. I know I don't even have to grab the little box that controls them because now I'm lazy. And I'm like, oh, I just want to see what it looked like. Grab your lemon, bring it up here. I don't know, let's just make it huge. And I swear, you guys, lighting and movement. And then you could get into sound. You could add audio clips to this so that you have a different sound every time you get to a different spot. These are the things that make a scene really come to life. Movement is the number one way. In my opinion, movement is life. Movement is life. But until you can do that, this is good second best. If you were here last week and you saw the Open DCL Studio, that is why I think that studio is so cool, because there's animated objects in it and you can use those really quick to level up. All right, there we go. Should be good. All right, I'm gonna start at the bottom. So I should have just moved my jump pad, but that's okay. All right, so I don't see any color. Jumping up here. Oops, I'm totally biffing it. Let me try that again. Pretend that didn't happen. Okay, I'm not doing very good. All right, this is when Kanessa just cheats and says, you know what? I'm gonna make some, I'm gonna make this more accessible. There. There. Cheated. Um, but that is beautiful. That is so crazy. Okay. All right, this is hard enough, like, because it's so close together. So you can make like challenging stuff. Let's see. Double jump? No. Sometimes I have to think like what makes it a challenge? Like is it because they're so far away from me right here? It's because there's a lip. I'm hitting my head on that. So it's kind of fun to find like a new way. Like, oh yeah, I gotta adjust my skills. You can't just like speed through it. You can't speed run it. There we go. Ooh, that one looks really cool. So like if you match the color of the spotlight to the asset, like red with pink, because the warmest color is red. There's no pink, there's no purple. It's okay, not everybody's perfect. It looks really cool. So actually if that tree, I should change that to green. And that I think is this tree. Delete it. And then let's see, what would be a good one? Oh, let's see. Yeah, let's do turquoise. Turquoise might be pretty. Up. So if somebody's inspired and they want to do this, just do it. Like I just want to put it out there. If you're like, oh, but then I'd be doing what Canessa did in our class, just do it. I'm not doing this so I can show everybody and then token gate this and be like, yeah, but I did that once in my class. Like, do it. Like, take these ideas. I'm just putting them out there to show what's possible. For like my good ideas that I really like, those I keep, I do those myself. But like this, please just don't think that, oh, I can't do a tree thing because then it'd be copying. That's not what we're here for. We're here to share ideas, make cool stuff. You're gonna make it different than me. Ah, look at that. Look at that color, that blue tree with that green light. Okay, green on green. Nice. And red on red. Perfect. Let's see. So I can kind of I can see those from up here. Good. Yep, they're kind of illuminating. Boop, boop. I gotta do the sound effects. Boop, boop. You should hear me when I'm just in the flow state by myself, making my own sound effects. Let's see. Does this one light up? I thought I had another light over here. There you go. I didn't even mean to make this, but it's kind of cool. It feels like its own little ethereal world. And I've never done parkour like this where it's like the challenge isn't that it's too far away, the challenge is that it's too close. Like you've got to readjust your jumps. Like wear a helmet. See that? Like, ah, no, okay. And I think like reimagining the same stuff because like really how many ways can we make a parkour? But making it so that like oh, that's just like such a tight spot right there. That makes it more fun. Pretty soon they're adding like mechanics to grab stuff. And so I think that is going to be another fun way to like, hey, maybe I got to grab the crystal and take it over there and like what if I have to run here, grab the crystal, then jump here, bounce, take it over here, and put it in the crystal aura container. I don't know. I think we need to be thinking about that though now so that we can be ready to build like once that is here. Like that's personally what I'm doing is like building for the tech that we don't have yet. Like I'm going to make something so that when we can pick stuff up, I already have a job. I already have this in place. So I think if you're hoping to make an experience, this is like step one. All right. I have completely closed out of, oh gosh, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. I'm not in world, so I'm gonna jump back in world, see how it's going. I probably crashed 20 minutes ago and I'm talking to myself. And you know what? That's okay. I talk to myself most days anyway. Um, and your son says badge is not deployed or something. So I will check on that too. Let's see. Yeah, so many ideas, you guys. So many ideas. Like more ideas than there are hours in the day. And I find myself jumping from idea to idea, which is really good because then you can find the one that sticks and calls to you. Like on my computer, I have 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 names of projects that I want to do. And I know that like the two that are going to be the most realistic to do. But I like having those others because like there is a time and a place for everything. And like now I'm coming up with better ideas for those other ones. That I'm not ready to flesh them out. I'm not ready to lock them in because then I'm going to have a better product at the end. So like if I have a game where I want to be like, sneaky and run after people and get them. Okay, but like it's going to be so much cooler if I can use this lighting, idea. So I've actually chosen to, oops, I'm not very good at pointing my camera there. So I actually am choosing to do an easier project first because I'm like, yeah, I know, like I already actually have like most of it kind of done or like the idea of it done because then I can just, I don't know, success is more important than a bunch of ideas written down on your wall. Like actually having something that ships. And then there's another one on my wall that I have the idea and it's great and I got it to work. And then I had my good friend here come and test it out. And they're like, yep, I can't see you. And I'm like, I can't see you. So like the idea works, but the tech is not there yet. So I have to figure out like, okay, maybe Decentraland cannot support this until they have an authoritative server on the back end and, talking like I know what I'm talking about, but I, I really don't. Grapkill, is there a height limit on Parcel's World? Yes, there is. There absolutely is. And um you can see it really clearly. Like I always this is what I always like used to do Genesis City. I'd grab the pool because the pool asset is huge and you would not want the pool up in the air. And so it's an easy, well, I'm so traumatized. You used to not know if there was an asset outside of your scene. Um, and so I literally have lost scenes because I had a sparkle outside of the bounds. And back then you didn't have this on the side. So I literally was like, I'd be looking for a sparkle. It was like yeah, I was like, where's my sparkle? Because it wouldn't let me deploy either. And I couldn't find the sparkle. So I'm still traumatized and I still have weird habits from back in those days. So if I was just starting a scene, I would grab something huge. This isn't the pool, it's the fountain. But something huge so that I'll definitely not lose it, like the sparkle. And then I'm just going to move it up here. There, that's the top of my scene. Actually, I would do it like upside down so that, oh no, not this. Okay. Um, the pool or uh, something big and flat. I think this round brick flat. Because that way I can see almost like a roof. It's almost, I want to put the roof on my house. So, see, make it big. Okay, so that's my scene. Then I'm going to move this until I get to the top. There. Right there. So visually, as I'm planning, that's just like my mental note of how high I can build. There is a few different documents out in the community building Decentraland Discord that has the exact height requirement if the pool method does not work for you. Um, this is another thing, like it's invisible from down below. But just you could use this, and then when you're ready to deploy, you just delete that guy. Um, it's gonna change depending. I know most of us, we have done this before. We know how far, like, wiggle room of how big it can get. So let's just look at, like, right here, it's out of bounds. But if I suddenly buy my neighbor's land and I have a 4x4 instead of a 3x3, and then I apply that, all of a sudden I get more height. So look at that. There. So now that's the top of my seat. And it is not like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know what algorithm they had, but it's not necessarily sequential nor make any sense. It just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Um, what files are usable in the land? That's a good question. Good question, Peter. Tell me more. Um, like MP, oh gosh, what is it for music? I want to say MP3s for music. Like if you, and I didn't go into that, but if you do want to have sound, like if I got to maybe on the top of this, I want to have sound playing. I could add for this one, I think you, oh, I don't know if it's trigger area, but I'll use that one. Um, if you go down here, we're in the smart items, to like music, ambient music, market, sound, crickets. I want birds, meadow birds. They are probably Argentinian meadow birds. um, this thing doesn't really show up as much. It's super tiny. So I guess in order to see it, maybe I'd make it bigger. Okay. So right there, again, triggers. Okay, so maybe I didn't need that trigger block. On spawn, if I want the birds to be singing when I get here, I could just leave it there. Or I could have like player enters area and then I'd use my click box. If I want to have some other audio file, that's where I was looking at that. Like you can add your own audio file. And I think it's an MP. I think it's an MP3. Okay. Yep. And then meta tagger GLB for meshes, OGG for audio, PNG for images. PNG is smaller than JPEG. No, JPEGs are smaller than PNGs. So like I I crashed out my Mardi Gras scene because I made it last year when I had just discovered how to learn use textures, but I had no idea that every freaking image I was using was literally like 2 gigs or something huge, crazy like that. So it this year when I went back in, it wouldn't work for me, and I had to slice the scene in different pieces. And so I looked up, and uh, JPEGs are better for that, even though I usually use PNGs. Um, get pre-made assets to thinking of getting some pre-made assets to mess with. Definitely you can. Back during the hackathon, we were connected with CSM, Common Sense Machines, and that was AI software to create your own 3D models. And I loved it. It was kind of limited at some points. Like, I don't know. For me, maybe I don't, I'm not a fan of making assets using AI. I think that's my own blocker. I don't think, I don't think it is, has any logic to it. Just that I like using Blender. Maybe it's just like, I hate, I'm not going to say I hate stealing from other people's ideas, but I think I don't want to lose the part of this that I love, and that's making them, like sculpting them. Um, Does anyone know how we can view the new scenes and worlds deployed? The menu on the website has disappeared. I know, right? Oh, guys, you can't find it. Sorry, but man, you can't find a lot on this new website. I can't find the Dow. That might be a good thing, but man, it is hard to find the Dow. It's hard to find the events page. I think I just have to relearn and actually type backslash Dow into the HTML, and it's still there. But I don't know. Jay, good question. I mean, are you looking for new, like your new worlds and scenes, or just all of them? Um, let's see. Yeah, so MetaTiger PNG supports transparency, alpha, JPEG, not. I did do, hopefully that, yeah, that class is here where if you do want to do transparency, that one's real easy. Peter, you wish you knew how to use Blender. I got you. You just start going through these tutorials and you'll, I mean, you'll get there. I'd say it's just bit by bit. And then you'll get there and you'll be so fast and you'll be like, I don't even know how I got here. Um maybe. Um yeah, so like getting your own 3D assets, I would say um just get into the creator hub and like start here. And I guess maybe I suggest that because that's how I got started. Is I back in 2019 we had this pack, we had Year of the Pig, we had Genesis City. Yeah, we and we had Gallery. So when I started, and then we had others. We had others because the whole builder creator the creator contest, it was sponsored by things like Exodus. So you'll find that's why you'll find things that are like the Gecko Coin Gecko sponsored it. You'll find a bunch of those assets. But like nobody's asked why the heck do we celebrate Year of the Pig? That was 2019. Well, that's why, because that nothing else has moved. The next Pirates was released, I want to say June of 2019. And then Fantasy must have, nope, Fantasy was there. Because you can go back and look at the old options. Yeah, Fantasy was there because I used some of these assets, but then they brought in new ones. Anyway, that's not very important, but a lot of these were not added until like 2020. My point by that being, that was all I had to work with back then. And so I got really good at being like, ooh, I think, this thing right here, like if I move it, if I make it large and rotate it, I can turn it into something completely different. Like, and I think that forced a lot of people to be really creative. You also could not resize stuff. So what you saw is what you got. And that made it really, really hard to build. And it's almost easier to do that and get like a good grasp of the creator hub first and then get into Blender. Everybody's worried about Blender. It's like learn, I don't know, gain the muscle memory first because my hands, if you could see my hands, they're crazy. Like left click, right click, middle click, rotate, control shift D. I mean, it really is a new way of moving everything around that you have to learn. And then as soon as you go from Creator Hub into Blender, you got to learn a different way because I'll do that. I'll go from one to the next and I'll get this flatline deer in the headlights moment and I'll go to like click and nothing happens. And then I'm like, oh, Blender. Okay. And then like literally my Blender brain kicks in. It's actually fun to get to that stage of life and see your brain just flatline. Like too much information, can't do it. So muscle memory, more than anything else, get your muscle memory down. And that mostly is like learn your middle control wheel, the shift, all of that stuff. That was why, like the day that we could point, that was why I found it immediately because I was in the Creator Hub trying to move my scene around, and all of a sudden I'm pointing at it, and because I'm using my middle scroll wheel. And so like normally we don't use that for much. Yeah. Yeah, GraphKill says the hardest thing with Blender is remembering the hundreds of keys. Yep. And learn like good lord, I when I did the donut tutorial in 2019, I tried to write everything down. Don't write it down. Just learn like Shift D, Shift A, and swear. Don't use anything else until you get a little bit of muscle memory because it's just going to drive you nuts. But once, if you start slow and then start working your way up, I think that is so much more, you're going to have success then, I think. Yeah, you can only do so much at once. I can't be on DCL while doing anything much. You know what? We were talking about that this week. Um I don't listen to music when I'm building. I especially emotes because usually there's like rhythm to that. So I sit in silence and I build. Um but that's just like what works for me. I have to kind of shut everything out. Um or I can watch TV if it's like a movie I don't care about, then I'm just like boop, in the zone. Um Good, Peter, you're playing with Creator Hub now. That is awesome. I'm telling you guys, like the stuff that we can do in there, I'm not showing all of it because like, I'm actually trying to put stuff together and make some really, really cool things. Um, but oh yeah, like I've been experimenting and then in the past 2 weeks, like I think they've really leveled up what we can do. So everybody make some cool stuff, even if it's simple. That is how we start. Um, You don't start with the big stuff, you start with the little stuff. So, let's see. So Peter, otherwise my PC will shut down. Yeah, I kind of have to log out of Decentraland if I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff. My PC gets really hot. I did make memory. You guys would be so proud. I have like 11 megabytes of memory now because I was running at like 1 left. 1 gigabyte of memory left. And then at one point it was like 400 kilobytes. It's like there's no room on my computer. And I was getting a lot of memory issues. It's kind of like real life. I have a lot of gigabyte issues. So, whatever your blocker is, like, guys, we can do it here. There's open calls coming up for builders. Like there's start today so you can get that open call 6 months from now. I swear there's really good opportunities for builders here. So oh, Peter, normal day. I don't know if you made a new word here or if this is a typo. Normal day, I have 4 work programs and 20 tab pen. Is that a new word? You just made a new word. Um, I, I'm gonna call that a new word, not a typo. That's I want to know more, but also I that's a story for a different day. So I'm gonna close this down. If you guys have more questions, let me know. Otherwise, like build, build, build. If you can't build, delegate your land to somebody who can. Because to be honest, I'm feeling bad that I have so much land that I can build on and I'm not putting stuff on it. So I am putting stuff on it. I will. I will. I should deploy the scene behind us. I know, Peter. Meant that. Program's open. Okay, well, same difference, right? Okay. Oh, I love you guys. So thank you again. All right, I'm saying thank you and closing so many times, but really, thank you for being here. I will upload this onto YouTube as soon as, well, not as soon as Sinful gets it to me. Until he gets it to me, I'm blaming him, but then once he gets it to me, then I'm like gonna blame somebody else. So I'll get it. I'll get it going. Okay, have a good day, guys. I'm gonna talk to you real soon. Bye.